I was in Afghanistan twice, and again, I was in a unique position both times where as an intelligence operator, again, to sort of see, I got to experience many aspects of the mission, and fortunate to, I could see different faces of the of Canada's progress there. I was in Afghanistan in 2003. Excuse me. I was fortunate to go with a small unit, and our job was to the team that I was with. Their job was to be basically close personal protection to General Leslie, who was Canada's top military official in the country at the time, but he was also deputy commander of ISAF, the International Security Assistance Force, acting for NATO. And there's a German general who was in charge of the entire operation, but General Leslie was his deputy, and had an important role to play. And I was part of CANSOFCOM at this point, so Canada's Special Operations Command, as an intelligence operator. And I'd been with the unit for several years at this point. And so we deployed in the summer of '03 and set up in Kabul. So their job, the team that I work with, their job was to protect General Leslie. And I was the intelligence operator that accompanied the team. And my job was to update them on intelligence information, threats, help with route planning, contribute to mission planning, and whatever else was required for that mission. And we were there just over 4 months. That was a great experience. The war had been on for almost 2 years at that point. But there hadn't been a lot of fighting in Kabul itself. I think that Kabul was spared a majority of the fighting before, as the Northern Alliance forces were taking over the country from the Taliban. Kabul remained, at that point, secure from most of the fighting. And Kabul was used by NATO and the United States and other allies as really a huge staging area for what was to be, a massive intervention in the country. And the British, I believe, had their boots on the ground, and the Americans in Kabul first. And once Canada decided to transition from their initial combat mission in Kandahar in southern Afghanistan, they transitioned to Kabul, where the Canadian contingent was setting up headquarters in Camp Julian, the southern part of the city. So when we arrived, NATO was really just getting established in the city. So it was wasn't exactly the Wild West, but it was shortly after the Wild West had been set up. So General Leslie's job was to make sure that international partners, the UN, the United Nations, aid groups, international organizations were sort of being meshed with ISAF and NATO. So he was the coordination man. So he was out and about all over the city, and our guys ran pretty hard to keep up with him because he was a busy guy. So ours was a job of constant updates, trying to find out what the safe routes were, updating them on, attacks that might have happened that day, IEDs that had gone off that day, going to briefings. This is my job, to go to all the briefings and make sure we had some good threat intelligence on what was happening in the city. And it was an interesting time to be there because the Canadian Embassy was just being rebuilt. Camp Julian was nothing more than a gravel parking lot with 200 people in it when I was there. They were sleeping in tents. So over the course of months, I saw it grow from this very small rudimentary camp to this massive military camp that had been built over a series of months. That was interesting to see. yeah, it was a busy and exciting time to be part of something that would be a lot bigger. And I was very fortunate enough to be sort of a fly on the wall to a lot of really, I don't know, interesting conversations, and it was probably my best tour. I really enjoyed it.